Morning everybody. Oh, afternoon actually. It is just 12. Hopefully you're all having a really good week. I'm having just a crazy flat out week, so I'm actually looking forward to some time to relax on the weekend. So last week I spoke about the Shetty seminar that I'd been involved in, New Habits for a New Time, and I mentioned at the end his book that I'd been reading as well, which is Think Like a Monk. So I have just finished reading that not that long ago. It took me a long time to read the book, and that was probably more so because I was taking notes to use it for my coaching, so to help you guys out as well. So it was going to be a quick summary, but it's not going to be a quick summary because my notes were really long. So I'm actually going to split this over today and next week, just so it's not such a long video all in one. So to start off, so he talks about identity a lot. So we try to live up to what we think others think of us, even at the expense of our values. This is kind of just like bullet points of stuff that I'd got out of the book and stuff that he said as well, lots of quotes and things. So I am reading this as well off a bit of a script, so just bear with me there. So often our identity, our work, our persona, etc. has so many layers, and we lose sight of the real us. We sort of stacking all of these things on top of each other and kind of forget who we are or were, or did we even know in the first place. It's quite interesting. Recognize who we are and what makes us happy when we're chasing that distorted reflection of someone else. How do we recognize that? This is a quote from Garanga Das. Your identity is a mirror covered with dust. When you first look in the mirror, the truth of who you are and what you value is obscured. Clearing it may not be pleasant, but only when the dust is gone can you see your true reflection. So I thought that was a really interesting way to put it. The second section was about negativity. So there's 3 cancers of the mind that he talks about: comparing, complaining, and criticizing, all starting with C for cancer. And that's things like all the negative thoughts that you think, the habits and gossip that you talk to with your friends, or hear people talking about gossiping about each other. He talks about some ways to reverse external negativity and reverse internal negativity. So to reverse external negativity, he says to cleanse ourselves of negative attitudes that cloud our outlook. He refers to a 25-75 principle. So for every negative person in your life, he suggests have 3 uplifting people. So try to surround yourself with people who are better than you in some way, and you can learn from them or inspire to them. In order to reverse internal negativity, he says competition breeds envy. Don't build yourself up based on someone else's failures or bad luck. Don't judge others. The more we define ourselves in relation to the people around us, the more lost we are in ourselves. Real freedom is letting go of things not wanted, self-awareness of how we react to things, and as the Dalai Lama says, which I thought was really cool, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. Then you'll really see how small things can make a difference. Next, he went on to explain a 3-step formula that he uses: spot, stop, and swap. So spot a feeling or an issue, and like becoming aware of negativity, for example. Try not to complain, compare, or criticize for a week is a little exercise he said, and it's actually pretty hard. But that helps you to feel a bit more positive about things. The stop, so understanding what it is. So once you have a better understanding of your roots of the negativity, then you can address it. And then swap, so swap for a new way of processing. So begin to amend the negativity towards positivity more. He refers to that spot, stop, swap quite a few times throughout his book. So I'll refer back to that later. So still around negativity, amending anger. Forgiveness frees you from anger. Revenge is the mode of ignorance. We can't fix ourselves by breaking someone else. It doesn't help anybody else to be negative about them, but you can change how you react. Forgiveness conserves energy, eases stress, and makes it easier to let go of grudges. There's always less drama to deal with, including forgiving others. The pinnacle of forgiveness is to wish the person who caused you pain well. Once you can forgive someone who's wronged you, then often you may then change tact and realize that they have been your greatest teachers. So you can always learn from somebody, even if you think that they have wronged you. The next section he spoke about was fear, which is a big one. But the first thing he started with isn't necessarily always a bad thing. It's simply a warning flag, or your mind saying, this doesn't look good, something might go wrong. And it's what we do with that signal that matters. Uncovering your fears, continually ask, what am I really scared of? Go deeper into that fear and continue to ask yourself the same question. Keep asking, what am I really scared of? We fear the stresses and challenges of change, but those stresses and challenges are the wind that makes us stronger. So when you deal with fear, you gain confidence that when bad things happen, you'll find ways to handle them. So you can always handle things. There's 4 different emotional reactions to fear, which are all distract us from the situation and prevent us from using our fear productively. So there's 2 short-term emotional reactions to fear. We panic and we freeze. Then there's 2 long-term emotional reactions to fear, to run away or to bury it. So in order to change our relationship with fear, we have to first change our perception of it and how we respond. So the cause of fear is attachment, and the cure of fear is detachment. Fear makes us fiction writers. So when you start to panic, you start to anticipate outcomes that haven't eventuated. And one of my favourite sayings that for a while now, and an affirmation that I also use, is focus on what if. And that's where worrying and overthinking and all of that sort of stuff. We're like writing in fiction. It hasn't even happened yet. So I know there's quite a bit of information here, but I guess the good thing about a Facebook Live is you can play it back and you can pause if you want to write any notes down or anything like that. Intention, so the next section was on intention, and he says there's 4 motivations. Fear, being driven by fear. Desire, seeking personal gratification. Duty, being motivated by the desire to do the right thing. And love, compelled by care or urge to help others. That's the 4 motivations. Most people focus on looking for answers instead of focusing on questions. So keep digging with your why, as every answer provokes deeper questions. We use this quite a lot in coaching. Keep asking yourself why, and quite often what you think was the first why, the deeper you ask, the why actually changes and something else bigger comes from it. There's an analogy here that he uses of seeds and weeds, which I thought resonated really well. So when you plant a seed, it can grow and provide fruit and shelter. A broad intention of love, compassion, or service can do. If our intentions are vengeful or self-motivated, we then grow weeds. Weeds usually grow from ego, greed, envy, anger, pride, competition, or stress. So you can't plant a beautiful garden and let it thrive on its own. You have to be gardeners of your own life, planting seeds of good intentions, watching to see what they become, and removing any weeds that string up and get in the way. This is basically just talking about we continually need to work on ourselves for growth. Couple more sections before I leave you with some of these as thoughts. So purpose, when your natural talents and passions connect with the universe, with what the universe needs, and become your purpose, you're living in your dharma. So he talks about dharma, and that basically just means your calling, what your purpose is, what you're meant to be doing in life, that type of thing. And he says the magic formula for dharma, or your calling, is passion plus expertise plus usefulness equals your dharma. And once you discover your dharma, pursue it, live by it. It goes quite deep into the dharma, and it's quite a big section in itself. I won't go into that today, but that's it. Look it up online or whatever. What's your dharma? Routine. Wake up early and start the day off with peace and tranquility. Time to cleanse yourself of the challenges of the previous day and giving yourself space and energy to transform. The biggest thing he says here, and he says this in his habits seminar as well, don't reach for your phone when you first wake up. I know we all have a bad habit and a hard one to break, but you're immediately overwhelmed by tragedy, Facebook venting, etc., which leads to stress, pressure and anxiety, and that's how you're starting your day, if that's what you do. So look, not just Facebook, but looking at the news, all those type of things as well. A lot of it's bad news, bad Facebook. So when you start the morning with high pressure and high stress, you're programming your body to operate in that mode for the rest of the day. So waking up early can lead to a more productive day if you do the right thing with your time. Once you've created a space in the morning, so say if you woke up an hour earlier than you normally do, you need to decide how you're best going to use that. And he says You should fill it up with what you lack most of, which is time, and it's another analogy he uses. So T is for thankfulness, which is gratitude. I is for insight, so he says read a book or listen to a podcast or something like that. M is for meditation, again not for everybody, but you could fill it with something else. And E is for exercise, so suggestion of maybe yoga or something like that. Take some time in your physical your home or office where you spend a lot of time and notice the things you have around that please us. So if you have photos, knickknacks, art, objects, that type of thing, look at them really closely and do they bring you joy, or can you replace them with some other things that do bring you joy? It's just another way to look at your surroundings, I guess. Routine makes room for creativity. Same time, same place. Consistent energy of location and memory of time keeps us present in the moment. So the last thought that I'll leave you with today, which I also mentioned last week in the habit seminar, is time has memory, location has energy. So doing something in the same place at the same time forms a habit. So I'll leave you with that to think about over the weekend, and next week will be the most powerful topic in his book, which is the mind. So starting with the mind. So sorry that was quite long today, but yeah, you can listen to part of it or some of it at different times. So thank you very much for listening, and bye.